task. It doesn't have a lot of things to it, but it is really important and really useful. So first thing, this is the Canvas Best Practices series. This is the last part of series 1, and I'll be creating series 2 probably starting next week or the end of this week. We'll see how fast I get it together. My name is Julie now. I'm the OIDC for the Red Mountain region, and OIDCs are Canvas coaches. If you haven't met us yet, you probably have. But we have people in charge of every high school region. A bunch of them are in here with us. So if you have any questions as we're going, or if I skip over something, or if I don't explain something well, please feel free to put that in the chat, and they should be able to help you with that. Or we will have time for questions at the end. So let's get going. I'm assuming by now that you all know how to get to Canvas. You probably have a Canvas course, and you probably have some assignments made. So let's go in and look at what this is, what we're talking about here. So I'm going to go into my demo course. You will want to be in your live course when you go and do this. Okay, so what we're going to go over today is called differentiating due dates. So if you have students that have extended time on things, or if they were absent, or if you have groups of students that'll have different due dates or things like that, or if you just want to assign a makeup assignment to one student or to several students, or whatever it is that you want to do, you can do that in Canvas. You can do this for any assignment, discussion, or quiz. In Canvas, I'm going to show you how. So first, I'm going to go into assignment. So this looks the same no matter which one you're in. And then I'm going to go into edit. Get to my assignment settings, hopefully. I was explaining to my 4th grader what it means to not use the internet. He was not aware of all of the things that use the internet. Okay, so I'm in assignment settings. It's still kind of loading, but we'll get there. We'll zoom in to our settings. We've got points, assignment groups, display grad, but we're going to scroll all the way down until we get to this part that says assign to. So this is who we're assigning it to, when it's due, and when it's available to them. So in this box is literally you put in who you're assigning to. So right now this is assigned to everyone. Now since this isn't a demo course, I don't have a lot of options. So if I click in here, I basically have everybody or nobody. So I can put that in here. You, however, will see all of your sections listed. So it'll say period 1, period 2, period 3, or first period, whatever it says in there. And you will also see individual students listed there. Now, if you have 150 students, you don't want to be scrolling through this list. So you can go in here and start typing the student's name, and it will pop up, and you can select it from the list. Underneath that is the due date. That is when it's going to say that it's due. So it's telling the students that it's due on a certain day. And that's what it's going to populate on your course calendar. That's what it's going to put on their to-do list. But it will not stop them from turning it in after that date, which is basically what we want right now. So we want kids to be able to turn in their work whenever they need to, because we don't know their individual circumstances. So having a due date is super helpful for them on pacing. So if you I understand the rationale behind setting your due date to the last week of school, because they have until then to do it. But if you think like a kid, they're going to say, that's not due until this date, I'm going to do it last. And then all of the work is due on that date. That's going to be really overwhelming for them. So it is helpful if you provide a pacing guide by putting due dates in there, and then they'll be able to pace it out a little bit better, because they're still learning how to do this stuff. Now, if you don't want something to be available yet, and you don't want to have to remember to go and publish it later, you can set the available from date. So let's say it's due on the 14th. I don't want them to start working on it until, actually, let's change it. Let's say it's going to be due on Friday. I don't want them to start working on it until today at 8 o'clock. So that's when it'll open up. So I can plan this ahead of time. Or let's say I don't want them to start working on it until Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Now during the school year, you might want to cut off how long their assignment is available to them. So then you could say it's not available after that due date. So they won't be able to submit anything after that. But for now, I would really recommend not putting an until date in there, because that cuts it off. They won't be able to access the assignment anymore. And that's not our plan right now. So here we've got, let's say we've got one student listed in here. I'm just gonna say everyone because I've got, but now I have another student who is absent and I need to give them an additional day. So I'm gonna say add. I'm gonna type that student's name in there. I'm going to give them a different due date. Let's say I'm going to extend it to the 21st. This could also be for students with IEPs or 504s that need extended time. It might be less stressful for them to see that later date in there. And you could also make it available sooner or during the school year, accessible for longer. And you can add as many of these assigned tos as you want. I can have all of these listed down. I could give each individual student a different due date if I wanted to in here. And then when I click, oh, I don't have it on there. Put some things, okay. Since this isn't a real course, I cannot actually demonstrate all of that part. So I'm going to show you in another thing. So once you have all that assigned, right here under your course, assuming you were able to save things, I wasn't, it would list each due date and each student that it was assigned to, and it gives you the available from and the until. All of it, okay, break down thing. So you can do that in an assignment, but you can also go into a discussion or a quiz. So let's look at a discussion real quick. The internet allows it. I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to go to the discussion settings. And here's all the settings for the discussion. And down here, oh, I got to make it graded. Here's my assigned to with the due date, availability. You can put whoever you want into here to have whatever dates you want, save it, and you're good to go. Exact same view if you're on a quiz. So anything that can be assigned to a student can have a differentiated due date. See here, here's our list of things. Right now it doesn't have a due date. We go down here, here's my assigned to. This is especially important if you have students that are taking a quiz in your class that have extended time. So if you assign everyone a quiz and you give them the class period to do it, so this isn't like a right now thing, but next year, and you have the available from start at the start of your class. Let's say it starts at 8:15 and it needs to end at the end of your class. They have 45 minutes or 9:10 or 9:11, whenever class gets done. And you give them that time. If you have a student who has extended time and they go through and end up needing more time than this, it's not going to work because it will close them out of the quiz and they'll have to retake it. And there are some strategies on how to handle that. You can reassign it to them. They would go back and start at wherever they finished when it was cut off and you go for there. But even better if when you did the initial setup, you gave that student a different time. So maybe an open until, so it doesn't last, or maybe you give them until the end of the school day or whatever. And they finish it that way. That will save you a lot of work in figuring things out later to have that be on there. Okay, so I'm going to go, because Freeman earlier gave me a good idea using our staff course. I don't think I have any assignments in here. We might have to make one. So let's add an assignment. For differentiating due dates. I'm going to scroll down. So this should be a little more interesting. Assign to. I can choose a section, which that isn't my sections, my old sections, but we'll assign a student. So let's say Shane needs a different due date than everybody else. And then I would put everyone else. So see how I did the individual student first. Everyone else, I don't think it really matters. Maybe for them, they're all due on the 15th. And then when I save that, there it is. So I have a due date of April 15th for everyone else, except for this one student who has until April 17th. So that is what I have for you today. Really short and simple, hopefully useful, because it can really make life easier if you think ahead for those students that need that extended time, to differentiate those due dates from the beginning, and also make sure you're adding due dates to help students with pacing. So do we have any questions about any of that? Super short lesson today. Or anything else? If you have questions about anything in Canvas, I can go over for you. Go ahead, Kim. Unless you want to talk later.
Okay, sorry about that. Can we copy modules from one course to another?
So that is tricky. There's a couple. So are you talking about from your own course to your own course, or from your course to another teacher's course?
It would be another teacher's course to mine.
Okay, so the easiest for that. So is it a large module? Is there a lot of things in it?
Could.
Maybe. Okay. So there are a couple of different ways to share Canvas content. So, and I'm going to go over a couple of them just to show you. So if you're sharing individual things like an individual assignment or an individual discussion or a content page, things like that, you can go to, see over on the left in my navigation, I went to assignments because I want to share an assignment. Let's say I want to share this one. I'm going to click on the 3 dots for the flyout menu.
Okay.
I'm going to choose send to.
Okay, send to, okay.
And then from there, I can choose to send it. Actually, I don't know if I can send it to Freeman. Oh, look, I can. Okay. I can choose to send it to Freeman. And what happens is it will show up, okay, mouse. It'll show up over here under shared content that someone sent you something. So that's how you share like an individual item. Now, if you're going to share a whole module, you don't want to go through and share each item and then have to organize it in your module. So what I would do is I would share it to Commons.
Okay.
Say I want to share this to Canvas Commons. And this is restricted. It only shares within Mesa Public Schools. So no one outside of Mesa is going to have it. So I'm going to go over here. If you can use this resource, you have a choice of only yourself or all of Mesa. You can back up your stuff if you want to move things around. License doesn't matter too much. I usually do something like, you have to share too. And then you have to put in a description, and you have to put in like a tag, and it makes you choose a picture. You can put your grade levels in there and so on. And then when you save it, it will, so when you go down here and you click share, it will share it to the Commons. And then what your friend will need to do is search, usually for the title of that, or they can search for you and the stuff that you shared. So if I search for the things that I shared, unless my name is also the name of a school. Okay, then I get everything that I shared out on Commons pops up, and you can go into that module, you can preview it, and then over here on the right, there's an import or download option. You can select what course you want to import it to. That's the easiest way to share a module, and that seems like a lot of steps, but it's not once you go through and do it. But that's the easiest way to share a module from one teacher to another teacher.
So I did do that import feature that worked. Okay. So between my two classes, what would I do? Like if I had multiple classes, I only have box because I don't have classes assigned to me.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn as much on campus as I can.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with the whole course. I've been doing different things, but I'm a little limited.
Yeah, that happens. And you can have, do you have only one Sandbox course or do you have multiple?
I have two.
Okay. You can request more Sandbox courses if you want to. So if you want more spaces to play with, or if you have other things you want to demonstrate, you can go to, and anyone can do this, so anyone that's listening, you go to mpsaz.org, and I hit enter too soon, /Canvas. On the right-hand side, there's a bunch of forms, and you can request more sandboxes. Now, to move things from your own course to another of a course that you own, you would go to the course that you want to move the content to, and then go to settings.
Under settings, okay.
And then you're going to click import course content on the far right.
Okay, I didn't know that was under, I hadn't looked under settings, okay.
Yeah. So for import content, you have a few choices up here, but what you're going to do to move from one Canvas course to another course is to copy a Canvas course.
Okay.
And then you're going to search your the courses that you have access to. And well, no, you don't search. You'll have a drop down because you have as many courses as me.
Okay.
Which thank your stars. Okay. And then you can choose to import all the content from that course to another course, or you can select specific content to import and then click import. And then down here, it'll pop up an option for you to select what content you want to import.
Then you could do a whole module.
Yep. So from this modules list, I can select which module I want to import. And then I would click import down here, select content. And then it's going to import into my course.
Okay, great. Now, I have one other question with modules. Can you create a module inside a module? Or would there not be a reason to do that?
No, you can't. Well, there are reasons to do that.
Using the indent feature instead, right?
Yeah, so you could use a text header. So if you add to the module and add a text header, you can use this as a title within.
Okay, so that would be kind of doing, okay. So you could add headers within your module.
And this is just
indent your,
just text. You can't click on it. Okay. And then you would indent anything.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I just was wondering if there was, okay.
Yeah.
And my last question, sorry. Remind me how, because I imported a module and it automatically made it the home page in my Sandbox. Can you remind me how to do it as the home page?
Yes. So if you go to your home page, on the right-hand side, there's a button that says choose home page. And you can select what you want your home page. Oops.
I knew it was simple. So are you right clicking or are you just clicking on home?
I just click on home.
Okay. All right. I knew it was simple, but I couldn't read. Okay.
And then on the far right side, there's that button that says to choose home page.
Okay.
Pick out what you want it to be.
Okay. Thank you. That helped a whole lot.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. Okay. Any other questions? If you have questions that you don't want to ask in front of the people, you guys are welcome to find us on WebEx. I can help you find your OIDC if you weren't sure who that is. Make sure you fill out the form. Just use Canvas Basics as the course title because I don't think we've put all the other titles on here. So
I think yours is in there now.
Oh, yay. Now that we're on the last one. I'll have to make more just so we can use it. You're welcome, Mary. You're welcome, Kim. Okay, guys. That was really quick, but I hope it was valuable. You all have a nice day. I'm gonna go tell my kid he can use the internet again.